Welcome everyone to this week's Novice Countdown. My name is Intel and we're here for week 7. On the left of me we have Aqua from Geometric.
Poop.
To the bottom left in the Jimmy Neutron picture, the big brain himself, the X-Countdown host Corbs.
What up?
And on the bottom of me, the best main tank in Novice, Merlin from Edinburgh Monarchs.
Hello.
Don't know why I paused there, but either way, last week was the start of the Swiss week, and we had a fairly interesting, although it was pretty even. We started out the week with Wisdom versus SBC, obviously, well, not obviously, but it ended in a 3-1, which was very interesting. Wisdom did win that, while player of the match being Titanic and Alpha Omega, and I thought it was pretty interesting because I don't think anyone predicted SBC to be getting a map.
Yeah, from what I was told, I did talk to Navino about this game, and he said that Wisdom was getting a little bit overconfident, so they started putting in their subs, and they really didn't take it as seriously as other bigger teams, I guess you can say. So yeah, that's coming from Wisdom's management, I guess you can say. So,
I mean, one thing I noticed was that SPC just runs comfort picks, which is over, well, a lot of the time, which I think is a really good thing, personally. Just because it means that they don't have to just mirror what the other team's really good at, and they can kind of whack them off. Or throw them off, which is what they did, from what I understand a bit, along with just subs.
Yeah.
I mean, the only map that they dropped was Hanamura, which was just, I think it was more Wisdom just, like, they went for EMP to win whatever fights that they did, and they only got 2 EMPs, and they didn't capitalize on one, so they kind of just lost, and it wasn't really SBC leveling up, it was more just Wisdom deciding that they didn't want to win a map.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah. Like, I did help out in that match, so I did get the inside leaks, and it genuinely was Wisdom was not taking SBC that seriously.
Yeah, then from the looks of it, SBC has really improved a lot. Like they made some pickups, like they made some pretty key pickups. Even though yes, they did lose their core, I guess you can say, with Rim and me, but they pretty much took like people who were starting caliber on other teams, like who just were benched, and then were like, hey, let's just make this into the new SBC, and that's honestly a great management decision. Taking a map off Wisdom is actually really impressive, so props to them. And yeah, I'm just very curious to see how the rest of their season will go.
100%. They are one of the lowest rated teams, but going into the next match, we had EM versus Hyperflex, and obviously it went into a 3-0, Hyperflex not winning a match, with their player of the match being Empty and the honorable mention being RQT. Now, I think I can personally say that this was pretty predictable, especially because they did not have Chef.
Yeah, this match would have definitely been a bit closer if they had actually had Chef, as we saw the week prior. But this week we rolled out on the Torbjorn. We played Torb the entire set, and it just kind of kept working. And so we just kind of kept winning, and we lost, like, I would say around 4 fights the entire series, so it was not very close.
I mean, from my point of view, it kind of came down to Hyperflex just not knowing what to do when they aren't faced with something familiar with. Like, your guys' comp, no offense, but had some very questionable pieces that made it very exploitable, and they just did nothing about it.
Are you telling me double main tank isn't a good strategy? What?
No. I have some other complaints about it.
I know.
Specifically Mercy.
Yeah, the Mercy. Okay, so actually with that, our coach Greek told us to run the Lucio, and I just straight up ignored him and told my team to play Mercy, and we did.
Mercy does air, man.
I know.
Honestly, a bit surprising. Wait, anything else?
No.
Alright, well, we don't have to worry about that. But for the last game last week, we had Geometric versus One Trick Wonders OTW, that being in a 3-1 in favor of Geo. Player of the match being Prince Exu, no honorable mention. And if, at least for me, I was hoping this match would be a little closer. I didn't really get to see it, so what is your guys' opinions on towards that match? Especially you, Aqua.
Well, I wasn't actually there for most of it, but from what I heard and from Malding and management chat, apparently that my team forgot how to shoot a Reaper. So that's how you lose maps. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, so pretty much Eagle and SDA were kind of able to walk for free. Like, yeah, Blue Jay is a pretty goated off tank. Not gonna lie. Like from what I saw, him and me actually have pretty good synergy because they do know each other in real life. From what I've been told, and Geo, they're still implementing new roster pieces. I mean, Rim Jazzberry is a brand new
Geo
one.
won.
Yes, I know Geo did win, but honestly, OTW has good pieces. The problem is they're disorganized, and once they get that organization down, I can see them definitely being able to compete for potentially the novice title, I guess you could say.
Oh, another thing. Tilted. So Exfil, he had his third hurricane of the season, I believe. So we were like, "Fuck, what do we do? How do we not play Sombra?" And then we realized, Echo. Well, also Tilted has a Trash Reaper, if you did not know. So Echo, good hero.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Reaper fun hero. But yeah, so Exfil with the Hurricanes. I mean, that just sucks. It's super unfortunate, but Geo was still able to pull away the win. I mean, the problem with OTW is they aren't playing around Mi's super aggro playstyle. Like, if you literally see him on Ryan, this dude's literally charging into the back line, stealing your supports. Just but yeah, so I'm very interested to see if they can adapt to this playstyle.
He's
So,
trying too hard to be Merlin, you know? But Merlin, what was your opinions onto that match?
Honestly, these are the two teams that benefit the most from the fact that we are moving away from this shadow dive meta, because in my opinion, neither of these teams were really comfortable exactly on those heroes. So the fact that like you get to have flank stretches legs on Zenyatta and a bunch of other factors, I feel like if we were staying in this Sombra meta, then it would be like Wisdom's just going to win the entire thing. But like this match, seeing the amount of like variation that both of these teams put forward was really nice to see. Like OTW just straight up ran like old school dive for a point, and I was like, wait, why are you running dive? And then it worked. Like these teams are not great at that old meta, but they are definitely the teams to look at for this new meta, essentially.
You know, I really like that. For me at least, I'm really hoping the meta does switch to something more comfortable to OTW. I've been hyping them up like every time I talk about them. I feel like they're a really good team. I've tried bribing the dividing by zero to just let them win, but that doesn't work. Money doesn't pay. But going in for our predictions for this week's games, the first one's going to be EM versus Wisdom. Obviously, I say Wisdom is going to be 3-0ing EM. Aqua, you say a 3-0 for Edinburgh. Corpse, you say...
Wait, what?
Wait, you said there's the Wisdom part. You put it in a weird way that I can't... I don't have my glasses on.
That's what everyone has done.
That would be an interesting take.
Oh, I can't read. Fun fact, I don't have my glasses, so I cannot read. So never mind, but Aqua, you're going with the 3-0 for Wisdom. Corpse, you're going for the 3-1 Wisdom. Merlin, you cannot vote for that. So... really, what's with all of our confidence for Wisdom just rolling EM? Remember, they did fight them about 2 weeks ago, and it was a 3-1.
Wisdom just kind of beats EM everywhere, and they're going to be able to adapt to if EM tries cheese comps, which Hyperflex could not do. So,
I'll be honest with you, Wisdom's coaching is probably the scariest in the league. Their coaches are just stacked. It's pretty much unfair, I guess you could say. No offense, Aqua. No offense.
Did they have 14 people with coach role? That's what I thought.
What? Oh, yeah. Never mind. Coaching diff is definitely in Geostorm.
It might be lower. Not sure. I think it's 14.
But Merlin, all right, you're the main tank for EM. You have a lot going into this line for you guys being considered the #1 team. How do you feel with all the odds stacked against you, and how do you feel going into this game?
I feel like it's more important for us to understand that like it's not do or die. This isn't the final battle. We need to just work on our team synergy and like understand this new meta, I feel like we'll definitely be able to take a map because we did that last time, and sure, it was very close. Almost every map in that series was very back and forth, so I feel like we'll be able to continue to take at least a map and hopefully more. And I mean, you say that Wisdom beats us in every role, but do they have a Torbjorn player? That's the real question.
That is true.
Everyone
They do
plays
have
Torb.
Do you have Empty?
Yeah, do you have a Torbjorn player that will attempt to hammer kill an ulting Reaper? Because he did that.
Well, with that kind of proves why the analysts and the community both have high ratings in favor of Wisdom. But I'm honestly hoping that EM put up a lot closer of a fight. I want this to be a good match. You guys are very talented, and I feel like Wisdom is one of the only teams where you could really show the kind of ceiling of where you are. But going to the week after that, we had Geo versus SBC. I'm saying 3-0 in favor of Geo. Aqua, you cannot vote because obviously you're for Geo. Corbs, you said 3-0 for Geo. Merlin, you also said 3-0 for Geo. What's with all our confidence for the 3-0?
I'll be honest with you, even though, yes, I have a 3-0 on there for Geo, it's gonna be a little bit closer than you think. Like, I kind of see Geo getting a bit overconfident after that win over OTW. No offense, Aqua, but like it's gonna be closer 3-0 than some people will say. Granted, it is still 3-0. That'll look great on your map differential, but it's not gonna be too pretty for. Not going to be a pretty win for Geo. Sorry.
No worries. What about you, Merlin?
I feel like, like Aqua said with our match, Geo just has better players in every role at this point. SBC, if they decide to set up an actual starting six, like they were playing Savage on main tank and they were also playing Ghost, Turtle in the last match, if they decide to actually put a certain player on all the time, I feel like it could be closer. But honestly, I feel like Geo at this point just kind of wins by the fact that they just have better players and are, even if they're playing like 1v1s versus every hero, they just still win.
And Aqua, how do you feel?
Not done leak much, but there's been a lot of experiments going around recently. Cooking up in the lab.
Eyes?
Yeah. And I was about to say, my power kind of just shut off right now.
What?
I accidentally turned off my power supply on my PC. So I'm on my phone right now. Sorry if I sound scuffed.
All right, that's perfectly fine. Thank you for just letting us know. But when it comes to the analysts in the community, once again, it's actually a tied 88% for both predictions. And if I'm honestly thinking about it, I just don't have faith in SBC. They've had so many changes. They just lost in management. It's not looking really great for them. So I want them to prove me otherwise. But until that point comes, SBC is really just not looking that good. And for the last match, we're going to be having OTW versus Hyperflex. Obviously, I'm putting 3-1 in favor of OTW. Aqua, you put 3-1 in favor of OTW. Corbs, you put 3-0 in favor of OTW. But Merlin, you come up with a spicy 3-2 in favor of OTW. Why are you giving a lot more favor into Hyperflex?
OTW and going to map 5. Name a more iconic combination.
Pain.
That's just it.
Expert in bands.
Yes.
I think for me it comes down to what the OTW runs. If they run something that Hyperflex can prepare for, do something about. Because Hyperflex has kind of shown that they don't know how to change, mid-map. But if they're prepared and know what to expect, they can do pretty decent since they just 3-2'd. 2-3 EM, but then got swept just because whack comps. 2 weeks back to back.
I remember before we hit the start button, I know we discussed if Chef was going to be there, and supposedly he will be there. That at least to what he's told me, does that really make a big difference to when you guys start thinking about if Hyperflex are going to win or not?
If Chef doesn't show up, I would just genuinely forfeit if you're Hyperflex. Because, it seems like not only is Chef their best DPS player, but he also seemed to have, a lot of calming parts of, actually, because like just playing against Hyperflex 2 weeks in a row, one with Chef, one without, their target focus just went out the window in that second week. Like we could get Mercy Reses off right in front of them. Like it was just not a good sight.
Yeah. Actually, give me a second. I might be able to come back on my PC now.
Oh, okay.
Just taking a little. But yeah, I can comment on that. Chef is definitely Hyperflex's best beat. It's no question about it. Like, in my opinion, they're kind of reminding me of a certain team that went 0-11 last season. Not gonna say who, but it's but if they play around Chef, then that'll give them a shot, in my opinion, at.
Yeah. I do feel SBC is more. Oh, yeah, he must have be switching over. Yeah,
she's back.
Welcome back, Corbs. But I definitely kind of agree. I think Chef is a very integral part. He's, I think, the only player from Hyperflex from the initial draft. So
that's actually, there was also Lori, who's their main tank player.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
still
I'm
from the
glad Lori's
draft.
still there. Yeah. Well, we don't really talk much about Lori, and I feel Hyperflex, while they may not be the 0-11 team from last season, and I feel that, I don't know, there's something about Hyperflex that I want to give them props for. They have a lot of moments that they've been showing recently that have been really good, and from what I hear, things are about little if. But yeah, I really feel like it's either all up to Chef or everyone on their team to start stepping up.
So everyone on Hyperflex really do need to step up. Rumor, not gonna go into any rumors, but they haven't been scrimming as much from what I've heard. So yeah, very interesting to say the least.
Yeah, and when it comes to both the analysts and the community, again, OTW is in favored. So on the bright side, OTW gets another win to their list, but I don't really think there's anything more to discuss after those matches. Any lasting comments?
I mean, SBC, next week, they might play Hyperflex, so we'll finally get to see who's actually better. I mean, my
That would be
opinion,
an interesting one to see, yeah.
it's kind of interesting how my whole opinion on SBC's roster is flipped, though. Like, early season, it was a support just holding them down. Now I feel like it's their tanks. Then their DPS has always been solid. And then Hyperflex has been all over the place. Like, never really had an opinion on them because there's no way to.
Yeah, you never could. Week 1 happened, and then week 2, and then rosters, and all of that. But I'd recommend anyone to listening into this video, make sure you watch the novice games that are happening. My name is Intel, and I thank you so much for joining us.
What's happening, members of League Zero? I'm your host, Grape Geek, and welcome back to the Week 7 edition of the Intermediate Countdown. I'm here with a few of my guests. Say your name.
Hello, my name is Shinsei. I'm the coach and assistant manager for GZG.
Hi, I'm Drift, assistant manager and DPS for MI6.
Hello, I am the flex support for Obligation and on Basket.
Alright, perfect, guys. We have 3 brand new guests coming here, so it's going to be a great time. The first thing we're going to go over is the weekly recap. So the first game of the week that we have is going to be Capitalism versus Mob Mentality, with Capitalism actually winning 3-1. I think it was actually 3-2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 3-2 map 5.
Yeah, it says 3-1.
Yeah, that's a bit wrong, but yeah, they ended up winning 3-2. So yeah, I just want to say I feel like this game was probably the biggest upset of the week. I think all of us came into this thinking that Mob Mentality was going to win. Either by a landslide.
I didn't even know that was the match. I'm not informed of the matches like 2 minutes before.
Well, I think in just generally though, Mob Mentality, like they came in as an undefeated team. They had yet to lose, and they were definitely the fan favorites coming into this game. And they actually ended up losing to Capitalism team, which is considered mid-tier before this game even occurred. So what were your guys' opinion on this game?
I thought it was definitely a surprise. I think that Capitalism upsetting Mob as well as GZG upsetting DC, I think were the 2 biggest upsets that the league has seen so far. Well, not the league, but the division. It definitely came as a surprise for me. I was literally hyping up Red Knight in a podcast that I do as well on my own with a few people. But I was saying, yeah, no, the stats don't lie. I think it's going to be another easy 3-0 this week. And obviously I was proven wrong. Cap has definitely shown themselves this week.
Yeah. What about Soar and Basket? What were your guys' opinion on this game?
Oh, you go.
So Rawcrafts brings the sword difference. Yeah, that's it. Sword difference. Rawcrafts. That's why they won.
Yeah,
What
Rockcraft's
else
played
can I say?
insane. I'm not gonna lie. Rockcraft.
Sword difference, dude. Like,
I feel
Can't
see
say much
like
else.
with Rawcrafts, every single league he's been in, he's been benched, and I really feel bad for the guy. This is the first time he's been on a team where he's been starting, and man, he's really like proving how good he is.
He's so good.
I believe he played off tank, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a very good diva. I really respect it. And I just think like Capitalism, I feel like they came into this game as a team with nothing to lose, and Mob Mentality was kind of overconfident probably. Because we know how composed Mob Mentality usually was, but the fact that Capitalism was able to take them off guard and actually get an early lead early on and finish off with a map 5 win, it just shows that this Capitalism team is getting stronger week by week, and is definitely going to be a team that is going to be a contender when it comes to playoffs.
I don't know. I think that a lot of what Cap did, this was really good on their part, but it was kind of like, it wasn't like an early lead or anything like that. It was more of a capitalizing on a lot of Mob's mistakes. Like it was pretty clear that they were out of their groove that night. You saw a few people going in too early, a few people not following up on dives, so on and so forth. Just a lot of mistakes all around on the side of Mob. And Cap found a way to capitalize against it, and they did a really good job against it, and ended up taking that map 5.
Fair?
For me at least, like, honestly, I didn't even know about that was a 3-2 loss. So obviously it was a close match. But, like, yesterday, my team we just scrimmed Capitalism and we won, like, literally every single map.
Scrimbucks, weird champ.
Yeah, Scrimbucks.
Scrimbucks easy, boys.
Yeah, easy Scrimbucks.
Well, moving on then, the player of the match was Grasshopper, and the honor mentions were Rawcrafts and Slick, so congratulations to you guys. You guys played outstanding. The next game of the week we had was Double Cat versus Content Credence, with DC taking the 3-0. I don't think this was a surprise to a lot of people. I know last Young Count and a few of us did say Content Credence could have won this game, but I just felt like as the weeks go by, Content Credence is getting worse, and DC is just kind of staying at that mid-tier mark ever since they kind of lost their 2-0 streak in the beginning.
Yeah, I kind of think that CC had hopes for a little while, but now, from what I'm hearing, it's kind of like an internal collapse at the moment. I don't really know if that's leaks. That's just rumors I've been hearing, so I don't know about it too much. But like, that doesn't seem like they're doing too hot. Obviously, with their what are they, like 1-4, 1-3?
This was the game they had to win to stay in playoff contention, because
Mm-hmm.
if they don't win their next, even if they win their next two, they have to pray the Obligation loses their next two, which is very unlikely considering that Obligation is going to be facing Content Credence themselves and Double Cap.
From what I know of Content, they have like solid pieces, but I don't know. From what I've heard, their comms aren't that good, but yeah.
Oh, sorry, you have anything to add?
They lost Tyranitar, and they lost Tyranitar,
as well.
And they got screwed over with Vantage leaving. That like, neither of those are on them. They're the Vantage situation is kind of on Vantage, and the Tyranitar situation is just unfortunate. Like, he's not gonna stay on when he gets an opportunity to move up. So, like, I don't blame him, but like that did kind of mess up Content.
Did he move up?
Yeah, he's on Platchet.
Oh, yes, interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting situation there. Yeah. But yeah, Content Credence, they came into this league with very high expectations, and they did have a rough start, but then ever since they beat Capitalism, they've just been going downhill. Like, they were expected to come into this game as the favorite for a lot of people, and showing a weak performance against a weak Double Cap team just must be hitting the morale a lot. And I feel like this is going to probably be the end of the road for this Content Credence team. Unfortunately, they did lose a lot of pieces, but I can't see them rebounding after this.
I will say, DC's new off tank's pretty solid.
Who did you see? Oh, Nev?
Yeah, Nev.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, he's okay. I have bad blood with him, but we won't talk about that today. Anyways,
He's got the brains.
Yeah, going on, the player of the match was Tyler on the main tank. Congratulations to him, and the honorable mention was Matson. So congratulations to the two of you guys, played outstanding. The next game of the week we had was Obligation versus MI6, and I don't believe to anyone's surprise, Obligation ended up winning this. However, in a dominant fashion, we of course do have Basket here on Obligation. So I want to ask you, Basket, what were your expectations going to this game, and do you feel like MI6 surpassed or underwhelmed your expectations?
Well, honestly, I didn't really even know anyone on MI6, I'm gonna be honest. But I kind of just expected a 3-0 because MI6, like, what do you expect?
It's fair.
So that's about it.
Shinny and Shroom, what do you guys believe happened in this game that gave Obligation the edge?
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. We played like shit.
Oh damn.
Like we played like shit. That's honestly. I played pretty bad first map because Sloth put on more pressure than I expected him to. Sloth's super fucking good. He put on much more pressure than most other Sombras. So I kind of got fucked map 1, and like, even though I fixed my play individually on the maps 2 and 3, it was still just rough overall with our team play. We played like shit as a team, and so we got fucked as a team. Like,
third map is just, I don't even know what the fuck happened.
Well, I know why Obligation won, okay? And you wanna know why? It's because they barely played meta, alright? Obligation on the second and third map decided to not even touch Winston Diva at all, and Squirrelben played his sniper heroes, and they were able to play around that. Okay? There's no denying that, because the only times Obligation has looked strong...
They beat us on meta, too.
Yeah, that was first map, though, and that's Control. Control can go either way for any team, honestly.
Yeah, but also, both those maps, we don't even, like, on scrims, we don't even practice those. And
I'm just saying, like, when you take Obligation off meta, they will win games. Alright? They've been struggling so far, but I can guarantee right now, we were talking about this last week on the countdown, they faced Guangzhou Gangsters, and for 2 of the 3 maps, they did play meta, and they got 3-0'd. But this time,
I wasn't even in, so...
yeah, but just in general, Obligation...
Can't say nothing about that.
Obligation play around their strengths this time, which I really wanted to see, and they actually capitalized on it, and they ended up taking the win. But I want to ask you, what's your name? Sora, what is your real name?
Drift.
What went wrong in this game? Like, you guys came in as the favorites.
Talk about this one.
Yes, we came in as the favorites. So basically, what happened? Like, we had a good week of scrims. So one thing. So T-Sen is very good. He's a very good player. Everyone knows T-Sen's a good player. And T-Sen, I think
T-Sen's on MI6, right?
He is, yeah. He either had his IRL stuff going on. He has something going on right now where he's not really making it to stuff. So, having me and Pepper, I don't know if you know this, I suck. So, not having Easton,
Sorry.
Not having Easton is kind of rough. T-Sen's good, and on top of that,
decent DPS, Gary.
Our comms, like, even though they were good in scrims, even when we scrimmed without them, we played pretty well. We just kind of fell apart. I don't know if it was...
Yeah, third map, you guys just look completely fucking boomed.
Yeah, like, honestly, we're a big momentum team, and not having the momentum map 1 really kind of screwed with us, so...
You guys also did give Bench their very first win last week, so I think that...
I was not in, not my fault.
Oh yeah.
That definitely has... Because, you know, that could be their only map win of the season.
Not my fault,
Wait,
fault.
map win?
Yeah, they've only won 1 map this season.
Not my fault, I was not in. Not my fault.
Well, yeah, regardless, Obligation was ended up taking the 3-0. Congratulations to them. Going on, though, the player of the match was Pichu on the off-tank, Sloth on the DPS, and of course, Baby T on the support. So congratulations to all 3 of you.
Yes, Sloth is so
I'm gonna be honest, I think Squirrelben should have gotten play just for Dwarf Hammer kills. Or not play, player of the match.
Squirrelben, he's someone for alright. But going on, though, to the last week of the game, we had Guangzhou Gangsters versus the Bench. Okay, we have a Guangzhou Gangsters representative here, but do we really have to talk about this game? And do we really have to, like, let's be honest, okay?
Actually, kind of. Yeah, I'm gonna be straight up real quick. I think that Bench actually came out and showed me something that I wasn't expecting. I was hearing a bunch of people shit talking them, saying like, yeah, no, they suck. It's easy 3-0 every time. And yeah, it was a 3-0. But it was a lot closer than what I would have liked it to been. Like, I expect a lot out of my team, and I expect them to play very well, no matter what team we're playing against. like especially against bench. I said to the team, all right, I want to go in with the mindset that we're going to speed run them, that we're going to clap their cheeks. We're breaking Cap's record today, and that just didn't happen. Bench definitely came out. They showed me that they can actually like play the game together as a team, and that they're like starting to understand simple concepts that it seems to like other people that they don't like. Other people don't think they have. But yeah, they definitely surprised me with the way that they came out to play, and you'll see a little bit more about that opinion whenever I go on to talking about the next week's game. But yeah, they definitely surprised me when they came out, and I feel like they're a lot better team than what people are giving them credit for.
I have to agree with that. I just feel like Guangzhou Gangsters has a really strong lineup in general. They started off weak in the very first week of the season, in the very first few weeks of the season, but ever since then, man, they have been on a tear. Like, you guys, like, if I'm not mistaken, you guys have a really good map differential. You guys have a +8 map differential. And like you guys are tied with Mob Mentality, only one map behind them in the first place spot, and you guys have like been on fire. I don't think when was the last time you guys lost a map?
Last time we lost a map, I think, was to DC.
Yeah, it was DC, and oh my god, you guys are on like a 7-map winning streak right now. This is honestly amazing to watch. But yeah, if you just in general though, Shiny, what do you credit most of your success to on your team?
Most of our success, honestly, I'm gonna have to say team leadership. A lot of what we do is based on like personalities around the team. Rai is an excellent leader. Anybody who's played with him can definitely say that his comms are amazing. He does a really good job on the IGL, the end game leader spot, which I make him do. And then just everybody actually being willing to listen to me whenever I actually coach them. It really helps them to just absorb the information that I'm trying to give out and put it into their play, which is what's been happening a lot most recently, and which is why we've been so successful. But yeah, they've definitely been all working together a lot. We've been improving together a lot, and then everybody's just, for the most part, gone along. A few bumps here and there, but we always get through it, and we always pull out the dub, and hopefully that trend continues to stay, especially these next few weeks.
Really good to hear. I dealt Soar or Basket. I doubt you guys have anything else to say, so I think we can move on from that.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
The player of the match was Greek God X on the off tank, and of course, all I mentioned was Ragai on the main tank. So also congratulations to both of you guys. Going on to the predictions now. The first game of the week we have is Capitalism versus Guangzhou Gangsters, and we do have a Guangzhou Gangsters representative here with Shiny. So going on to just looking at a lot of our predictions, all of us here predict Guangzhou Gangsters except for Drift, who predicts Capitalism win. Before I go on to ask you, Drift, I want to ask you, Shiny, what are your expectations coming into this game, and how are you guys prepping for Capitalism, who just came off from beating Mob Mentality?
So it's pronounced Shinny.
Oh, wow.
And we're doing right now we're ramping it up a little bit. It's a little bit difficult for me because my schedule is getting really weird. IRL stuff getting in the way of some stuff, but I should be able to make it to scrims and whatnot. But yeah, we're ramping up scrims this week. We're doing a little bit more than what we have in the past few weeks. So we're making sure that we get ready for it. We don't want to be surprised by anything, and we don't want to be caught off guard at all. So we're definitely putting in a lot of effort this week to make sure that we perfect what we're running and to do the best that we possibly can.
All right, fair. Drift, I want to ask you, why do you believe Capitalism is going to come out with a win?
Rawcraft brings the sore difference. But like actually, I think Capitalism they're a very inconsistent team, but when they're on, they're really on. And so Guangzhou, they run some, and they're not good at Shadow Dive. No offense, Shin, but
nah, you're fine,
Shadow Dive. They're really good at taking advantage of their strengths, but I think Capitalism, as long as they play it right, should be able to force Guangzhou onto less comfortable picks. And like A to Z, he's a good DPS on his comfort picks. On his not comfort picks, and he's not that. He's gonna get outplayed if he's forced off his comfort picks. Like that's just gonna happen. He will go even, or he still might get outplayed even on his comfort picks. But it'll be closer, at least in the DPS duel. But if they're forced off their comfort picks, he's gonna get the DPS duel is gonna be so in favor of Capitalism. They can probably just take that to the win, and so I think they're gonna be able to do that enough to take the win.
I mean, I think that's a fair point, but at the same time, it kind of goes either way with like every team. I think as well with Cap, there's also obvious weaknesses that we can exploit. on their side. And like to give an example, like no offense, but you are kind of the Sombra one trick, and that's obviously your best hero. And whenever you're forced off of Sombra, you kind of get shit on. So yeah, it like DPS line is always going to be one of the most difficult lineups to present to the team, and obviously there's going to be gaps and like differences and whatnot, but I definitely think that will have the edge in the DPS lineup.
Fair point, fair point. Basket, I want to ask you, why do you believe Guangzhou Gangsters has edge in this game?
Well, it's kind of the reason just because of yesterday when we scrimmed Capitalism, they just look so bad.
Scrimbox.
Yeah,
It's the
Scrimbox.
most cringe thing ever, but...
Yeah, but still, it's the only thing I got.
Alright, fair point, fair point. I feel like Guangzhou Gangsters is gonna come out with something that's just gonna surprise everyone. And like, it's just good, like, no one's gonna know what to do, and I just honestly, like, I just really think Guangzhou Gangsters will have the edge in this game.
Their coaches are really solid.
Oh my god, the first time anybody's ever said that to me.
Yeah, like, you're a good coach. Like, Guangzhou, they're well coached, they're a good team. They just gotta make sure that Capitalism can't exploit their weaknesses, and as long as they do that well, they'll take the win. But I'm not 100% sure they will do that 100%, so I think it's definitely going to be close. Well, it's either going to be close or it's going to be a roll for Guangzhou. Capitalism will not roll Guangzhou, but I think Capitalism is more likely to take the win overall.
Alright, fair. Moving on though, the next game of the week we have is going to be DC versus MI6. Of course, we have an MI6 representative with Drift. So Drift, I want to ask you, what are your expectations going into this game, and how are you guys going to prep for DC?
Okay, so we're gonna have a little more time to prepare since actually I'm not gonna leak that. But we're definitely prepping a lot this week because our team doesn't like losing, and whenever we lose, like after a loss, we go back in really fucking hard. Like, you can see when we went from our mob mentality game first week when we got 3-0'd, and then we ended up in week 2 beating Guangzhou. We tend to bounce back, and sometimes we get a little complacent when we're not losing, but when we lose, we get kicked up, and like we grind a ton. So I think it's definitely we're gonna be able to bring it to DC this week. I can't really say how we're prepping because new meta and stuff, but it'll be cool. I think I'm very confident in everyone on our team. So I'm very DC. They're a strong team. I don't know how strong since I haven't seen the new DC against anyone but content. But I think they're a strong team, and I think it's definitely going to be a tough match. But I think we definitely have the ability to take it once we bounce back.
Alright, good to hear, good to hear. I want to ask you though, Basket, why do you think it's going to be a 3-0?
Well, from like the last week match, like it was the match. It's.
All right.
I have really nothing. I can't describe my own words. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, boys.
Got 3-0'd by obligation.
I guess that's a fair point. Well, anyways, Shinny, why do you think it's gonna be such a close game with DC on the better end of it?
Jeez, what did I even say? I said 3-2, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I did. Okay. So, like Drift said a little bit earlier, I think that MI6 is a really, what's it called? Oh, I forget. But yeah, they're a really tempo-based team, and if they momentum-based, that's the word I'm looking for. If they don't have the momentum coming out from the beginning, then I think that they're in a lot lesser chance to start out. So I think that DC is going to win that first map, and then they're going to go back and forth with MI6 winning a map, then DC winning another map, then MI6 winning another map, and then DC finishing it out. I think that with the addition of Nev, they definitely have a lot more brain power now, and they actually have people who know what they're running, or like know what they need to run, so on and so forth, and like people paying attention to the constant shift of the meta because of the patch that we're in right now. But yeah, I definitely think that's a factor, the brain power. And then I also just think that there's some stuff going on with MI6 that I'm not too sure about. There's some decision making that I'm not very sure about, and I want to see something a little bit different. I don't know if I want to see team comp changes, lineup changes, so on and so forth. Maybe trades or something like that, pickups. I don't know. It just kind of depends upon what direction they want to take, especially heading into the playoffs, since they're pretty much a lock for playoffs.
All right, fair point. Yeah, I just think DC has a much better roster now after the recent acquisitions, and I just feel like MI6 is kind of lagging behind, especially considering that they took a brutal loss to Obligation the previous week. So I just feel like this will probably just be all DC this game. Going on to the next game of the week, though, we have Obligation versus Content Credence.
Yes.
And of course, we have an Obligation representative here. So, Basket, I want to ask, what are you guys' expectations versus Content, and how are you guys preparing for them?
Well, we're just gonna prepare by just doing everything we do on a normal week, just scrim and then just going to the match.
Just playing the game,
Yeah, just playing the game and then getting coaching after map after scrims.
Alright, fair point. I think all of us can agree this is just gonna be Content being bad and Obligation just being the better team in general.
Yeah.
I honestly don't see Content coming out with anything special. I think it's gonna be same old. But yeah, Content's just like poor now. Like Obligation is, of course, I think Obligation will just be playing, not only just playing better, but with Content being weaker, this should just be an easy win for them. I gave Content a pretty map, maybe Obligation throws and put Squirrelman back on Reaper, but yeah, I just see this all being Obligation.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that. Obligation is just a better team. I think it's just gonna be an easy 3-0.
Sloth is a god.
Yeah.
He's one of the best DPS, if not the best DPS in the league. Sloth is ridiculous. Anyone who put him near the bottom of the tier list after this week, you're stupid, you're dumb, and watch out for Sloth. Lol.
Alright.
Yeah, Sloth, I like.
I think that's enough said about that game, honestly. I don't think there's anything else to say about that. But going on to the next game of the league, there's even less to talk about. We have Mob Mentality versus the Bench. And we all have a 3-0, but
nope, changing right now. 3-0 for Bench.
Well, okay, I'm just
I'm
gonna
not
say that.
changing
Shinny, you have a
changing my
3-1
prediction.
for Mob Mentality. How do you think Bench is gonna take a map against questionably the best team in the league?
Oh, like I said earlier, man. Yeah, they've definitely been improving since week 1. They have, I don't know what they're doing internally, but something's working. They surprised the hell out of me. I don't know what they did to improve in the past few weeks, but literally all I've heard is that they were such a just dog shit, trash tier team, and then they come out against us and almost win a few maps. Well, not even almost win. They were like pretty close to taking a few maps off of us because of mistakes that we made. And that was because they forced us onto those mistakes. So I don't know if it's just them actually getting better at the game, like in a game sense manner, or if it's just them like practicing like day in day out, always being on the game consistently. But I got some respect for Bench now, and I want them to do a little bit of good before they get completely shut out for the season.
Fair. Drift, I want to ask you, why do you think it's gonna be a 3-0?
Why do I think it's gonna be a 3-0?
Yeah, why do you think all Mob Mentality? Why do you think it's gonna be that?
Okay, Mob Mentality is really good at meta. Are they good at anything else? Maybe. I don't know. Probably not nearly as
depends
good.
upon the day.
Yeah. But they against Bench. Bench's meta is not bad. Bench is not a bad team. I mean, they are record-wise, but like they're bad. They're not bad. They have potential. But Mob can just choose. Hey, let's run meta and win. They don't have to like with the changes. Meta is what used to be meta may not be the best option anymore. But against Bench, I don't think Bench is going to be good enough at any of the newer things to make a difference with Mob running meta. So they can just run meta like they usually do, and they'll be able to take.
I mean, the meta has kind of shifted away from more Shadow Dive into more of a sniper heavy meta again.
Really?
So
I didn't even know.
In Contendo's running it a lot. They're also running a lot of Briggs End, surprisingly. Kind of interesting.
Bruh, Briggs coming back and it's scary.
Briggs is coming back, man. I'm not happy about that. Actually, I'm a ball player. I'm not that mad. Briggs kind of.
No, you should be mad about it.
Yeah,
Good Brig can just destroy balls.
Nah.
Yeah, just like imagine trying to roll through an enemy team and then you get hit by a fucking whip shot and then just done.
Imagine waiting for their CCs to go away or baiting it out early and then going in.
Yeah, no, we don't have brains at this level. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What is a somber main to do?
Yeah, it's just play Sombra lol.
Oh my god. You guys.
Just counter the ball for it.
You can still play ball into Sombra.
No,
No,
never.
you
You
can't.
cannot play
Never.
any
Never.
character into Sombra.
Yeah.
Never.
None of them.
You actually delete the game. Alright, you delete the game and you move over to Minecraft, alright
Yeah,
dude?
exactly.
Yeah,
Alright then.
Just change the IP address.
yeah.
Also, I just want to say the analysts only predicted one team for 100%, and that was Mob Mentality versus the bench, so I think we can all agree Mob Mentality is going to win this game. It would actually be interesting if bench do take a map and DC 3-0s. DC takes that #1 spot, so...
DC
no, sorry, not
was?
DC, sorry. If Guangzhou Gangsters 3-0...
Okay, I got real confused
Yeah,
real
I'll-
fast.
If Bench wins this game, I will print out the Mob Mentality logo and pee on it on video.
If,
Oh no.
if the bench win,
No.
I will buy 3 Vancouver Titan skins and equip them for the rest of my life. In Overwatch 1, alright? If the bench somehow wins, I will do that just for them. That is how confident I am the bench will lose.
Nah, the bench is totally gonna just the Rio Mob Mentality, honestly.
Oh yeah, easy.
Easy.
Scrimbots.
Well,
Scrimbots.
I think that's a
Yeah.
good note to end it off on. Does anyone have any more final statements?
Moira sucks and Ana good.
Oh, that's just complete. Oh my god, blasphemer.
Did you say wear socks and Ana is good?
No, I said Moira. No, I said Moira bad.
Oh,
Ana's good.
Sloth crazy.
Yeah, sloth crazy.
Red Knight needs better stats.
alright then, taking shots. So, yeah, I think that we can end it off there, guys. Thank you guys all for watching this week's edition of the Countdown. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe and turn on that notification bell. And we'll see you guys
That's not
next
smart.
week. See you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Countdown. This is week 7. We just had a week of pretty good games. Yeah, today I have with me Apple from Tokyo Drifters.
Hello.
Would you prefer Surmi or Yanjul?
You know what? Since you're butchering my name, just go Surmi. Just call me Surmi.
Surmi from sorry,
It's
Surmi
okay, it's okay.
from Epizeuxis and Tark, who isn't a player but the coordinator for the advanced division.
Hello.
So let's just start with our recap. The first game was Tokyo Drifters against Platchat. Probably the best game this week, at least in my opinion. Tokyo Drifters won 3-1. The player of the match was Master Dempsey, with honorable mentions being Asajun and Apple. I really don't have much to say. I wasn't at the game actually. I was queuing comp because I was
Nice.
needed.
Oh, F.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good game.
From my perspective. Okay, so first map, we every time we scrim, we always lose first map. It doesn't matter what we're doing, we just always lose no matter what. And then after we lost first map there, we were just like, oh shoot, we should just probably play what we're good at. So then we just counterpicked them for Jib because their main tank is kind of a Rhine one trick. So we were just like, oh, he can't play Winston, let's just go Jib. And then we first held them, and then Asa ulted on Danik's dead body while we rolled card in to win.
Nice.
Second map was Volskaya. That was probably like the closest map, or that and Kings. I'd say we're really close. Volskaya, it was mainly Victor kind of feeding. Dempsey actually destroyed Victor. Every single time Victor went to just go 1v1 Dempsey would just come out on top. And then
God.
Yeah, Dempsey's a god, honestly. A god
That's
above
what I've heard.
anybody. Yeah, Dempsey's been actually improving insanely fast.
Yeah.
Because Rancher's been still gone. And I think this is Rancher's last week with his ban. Then he's coming back. But Dempsey's been insane in scrims and stuff, and he was sick this whole past week. and his voice just got better, so he could actually call out discords and stuff, and that helped us out a heck ton. But Volskaya, it was just a lot. I'd say it was a pretty big mistake on us for first point, and then after that, we just got ourselves together and then rolled them. And then for what was last map? Kings. Kings was first point was just a misplay by us, but then after that, we held really well and we cycled our ults correctly, and then they just kind of like, I guess, on their defense, they just kind of like kept running their heads into a wall, and we just kind of won after that. And then I solo shadowed Tannic, and that was the highlight of my day.
Good job.
Good shit.
I know. I'm so good.
From an outsider perspective, though, I think Hotshot kind of talked a lot of shit, and then they kind of lost. So
yeah, we were
talking shit, which is kind of weird.
We were extremely tilted at all of them, like the whole entire week. We were like, yeah, we're just gonna beat them just because out of spite, you know. They're all shit. We're better. Like that was all we were thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, they think the predictions. They some of their players claim that the analysts aren't very good, but obviously last week they got it right. So
yeah,
I don't know, man.
Rely, man.
But the next game was Epizeuxis against Kingdom Come. Not really much to talk about. 3-0 win for Epizeuxis. Player of the match was Cam. Sermi, do you have anything to say on it? I didn't watch the game.
It was a
blowout.
Yeah, we kind of just blew them out. Trigger kind of talked a lot of shit about No You, and you know, No You kind of just emptied the whole team. Not even only their main tank, just their whole team. Like I think No You did really well that match. That was also SPC's 0
let's just put an RMM honorable mention to No You.
Yep.
It's not official, but it's my honorable mention.
He played pretty well. I was the host of that game, so I actually got to watch this game. But I think the DPS on Epi played really well that game.
Yeah. Cam also had his debut on DPS, and then
Cam had some
I heard he
crazy
did
pulse
really,
bombs.
really well.
He had some crazy pulse bombs. He was pretty nuts.
He clutched out Nepal with a 3K pulse bomb.
Thank God he's off of more jail.
Yeah.
He's so much better. He's so good. Every like warm up we go against y'all, Cam is always playing DPS, and he's literally destroying us half the time.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it was a pretty, you know, blowout game. But like, I don't know. Other than that, there's not much to say.
Was Kingdom Come playing musical chairs again?
Not really. The only people they subbed out was like Slimeall and Lechuga, and they had Pixel Master the whole time.
I do know that Kingdom Come has some pickups that they weren't able to play that game, so they're going to be looking to play some new players.
Yeah.
And being the one that approves some of them, some of the players that they're getting seem to be pretty good. So I'm interested to see their game next week.
Leaks?
Yeah. Who are they playing next week?
Who are they?
They're playing
Overcharge.
I don't know.
I could see them taking a map or two off of them.
Maybe.
Yeah, but so far this season, Kingdom Come, definitely that SMI curse taking place. They're, I believe, bottom 3 in standings, actually. I'd have to check.
Yeah. Thank God we didn't win the SMI.
Yes, they are 2 and 3 with the -6 map record, so they are exactly
that is a
third
lot
to
worse
last
than I
right now.
thought.
Yeah.
But maybe they can turn it around. I believe it's a 16 playoff, correct? So they have a pretty good chance unless they lose out.
They would need to be overcharged here. That would be a very big boon for them.
If actually, fun theoretical, if Kingdom Come actually does lose out, and Powerhouse manages to get a win against either Tokyo or Plat Chat, they would actually knock Kingdom Come out. Doesn't seem very likely talking about it, but hey, you know, maybe Plat Chat could throw the game just to spike Kingdom Come out of the playoffs. That would be pretty funny. I don't know what staff would do then, but you know, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, definitely.
But you know, Kingdom Come, you know, maybe they'll probably make playoffs, but if they get pretty good pickups, they could actually maybe make some noise just in the first or second round. But our second game was Hangzhou Bark against Overcharged. Actually, an upset from last week. I predicted Overcharged to win this one. I'd have to check what I predicted last week, actually. I think I got most of them right. But Hangzhou Bark won. Hangzhou Bark won 3-2. Player of the match was Knock on Wood, and the honorable mention was Chuggy J. Obviously, most people predicted Overcharge taking this one. Yeah, I think everyone I had on Countdown last week predicted a 3-0 or a 3-1 Overcharge. Hangzhou obviously defied the odds and took a win. They're actually second place now, I believe. 4-1. Yeah, 4-1. I just don't really know standings-wise where to put Hangzhou, just mainly because they've had actually a pretty relatively weak schedule.
Yeah.
They play Epizeuxis and Tokyo these next two games, so that's really. I mean, they 3-0'd Platchat first game of the season, but that was very, very scuffed on the side of Platchat. So this could actually, like, I think they're pretty mediocre for a 4-1 team. I think their record is an indication of just like easier wins compared to their skill level.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. They had an extremely easy early schedule, and then Platchat kind of just threw first game.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, because it might have been an easy schedule. They still won those games, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I think they're mid-tier, at the very least.
I mean, even then, they lost. Their only loss this season is to Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
And they allowed Vertigo and like pretty bad Powerhouse roster to take a map off of them. So, like that can be pretty
True.
telling of potentially how these next two games will go. I think.
See how it goes.
Yeah, I think this week will probably be the week where most people kind of are like, okay, is Hangzhou legit or are they not?
Yeah.
I think their success coming up will depend on their improvement of their like tank and support line, because I think their DPS line is their strongest point.
That's been the story all season, basically. Their support line and their tank line have been their support line has arguably been one of the worst ones in the league, and they've improved, I will say, but they need to show really, really strong games these next 2 weeks to really give Hangzhou hope. Because, Tark, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but free agent window is closed now, right?
Actually, it is closed next week
Next week, okay.
So after this upcoming game. So they can pick up one more free agent each team for this week.
Okay. Yeah. But they Painless and iMustache really need to step it up. Maybe, or I'm assuming Knock on Wood actually probably played in place of Painless, I would believe, because I'm pretty sure Knock on Wood is a main support. But
He played flex support, actually.
Oh, he plays flex support? Okay, so he's just a full
support player, but he played flex support, I think.
Okay, well, either way, it seems obvious Knock on Wood was a big contributor to their win. So maybe if they continue playing him and Painless sees some signs of improvement, Hangzhou Bark could actually maybe pull off a win, maybe take 2 maps off of Epizeuxis. I don't know.
True.
But our final game from last week was the Battle of the Basement, Powerhouse against Vertigo. Powerhouse winning 3-1. Actually, I believe I got that guess right on the money. So I'm gonna give myself a nice pat on the back. But the player of the match is Kit, and honorable mention was Aqua. I watched a good amount of the game. It just seemed like Vertigo could not counter a ball comp. Like, Li Zhang was just completely 100% powerhouse, and it just felt like that the whole game. At this point in the season, I just don't think Vertigo can do anything. I think their season's just basically done. Unless like they 3-0 against Platchat and then Kingdom Come, and Kingdom Come loses out, they have basically a 0 chance to make playoffs at this point. And from how they look and how their roster has been it just doesn't seem very hopeful for them. So maybe, you know, just have fun in these games. You know, I just like. It kind of sucks just because I know a lot of the players on those teams are very, very good individually. They just haven't been able to seem to put it together. I don't know whether that's a management thing or just a synergy thing, but...
Well, there's also the entire management change in PH as well, which probably
Oh, no, I'm
help.
talking Vertigo. I'm talking Vertigo.
Gotcha.
Yeah. No, Powerhouse, I could see them slipping in. Maybe. If they get really, really lucky with Kingdom Come losing a game or two, that'd be,
I think,
you know...
it's just really rough because they're playing arguably the best team in the league next week.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But
yeah, Powerhouse looked really good. I was really, really impressed. They actually blew away my expectations. I thought it would be a lot closer. I was a little bit surprised about Dad and Jason on flex support when they just picked up Kate, but I guess internally they just saw Jason as a better flex support somehow, but it worked.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's just move on to our predictions. For the first game is Tokyo Drifters against Powerhouse. Me and Apple can't predict it, just mainly because we're both on Tokyo. Surmi has Tokyo winning 3-0, and Tark has Tokyo winning 3-0. 100% of our analysts says Tokyo is going to win, and 84% of the community.
Yeah. I think Tokyo's just been too strong this season. Granted, I could see PH taking a map, maybe even two. Just if they improve based on compared to the previous weeks. But as of right now, I think the safe bet is Tokyo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tokyo's like 5-0, right?
Yeah.
6-0 now.
5-0. They have not lost yet.
0 losses.
Yeah, I think they definitely win here 3-0. Honestly, it's just I don't think it's gonna be close. Honestly.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Powerhouse. I think they're getting better, but you know, it's Tokyo.
Yeah, Tokyo's just a different level at this point.
Yeah.
So the next game is Epizeuxis against Hangzhou Park. Surmi can't predict this one because he's on Epizeuxis. I predicted Epizeuxis winning 3-1, Apple the same, and Tark actually predicting Hangzhou Park to take this 3-2.
Yeah, I think
the 64% of our analysts predict Epizeuxis and 59% of the community predict Epizeuxis. Sorry, I cut you off there, Tark. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. Well, me being the odd one out, I just see. I can see the reason people think Epizeuxis is going to win. But I think Epizeuxis is a very good DPS line too, but I think Hangzhou can match it. So it depends on the tank line, support line improving, and I think Hangzhou can end up doing that and beating out Epizeuxis despite everyone's predictions.
I think Epi is just on a complete another tier right now compared to Hangzhou. I think Epi's second best team in the league. Like, all their pieces are finally coming together. Sam's going to be back, well, starting not this week, but the next week. I think they're gearing up to just make a giant playoff run, and this is going to be their start of their snowball for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
I mean, I did 3-2. I could see it going either way.
I am very scared of Epizeuxis. They are a very under the radar team, and I'm a little surprised a lot of our analysts and tier list makers don't consider Epizeuxis to actually be a top 3 team. In fact, I've seen some people just like put them 5th and stuff like that. They're very, very good. They're very underrated.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just see Epizeuxis taking this one. I could see it actually being a 3-0, just generally because Epizeuxis just out tanks and out supports Hangzhou, and 9 times out of 10 that usually leads to like a 3-1, 3-0.
You know, with the meta shift going on more towards like, as they say, a double shield or a sig. I think me not having to play Diva is a very good sign. Honestly.
Surmi Sig do go hard.
Yeah, the Sig one trick from last season, very
Yes,
notorious.
Yeah, notorious Sig one trick.
Double shield is a lot harder to play for tanks.
I hate
So,
double shield.
If Hangzhou Bark's tanks aren't up to scuff, they're just gonna get called out a lot more often.
Yeah.
Especially against Orisa Sig.
It definitely, if double shield does become the meta, I could definitely see a very hard downward trend for Platchet, just mainly because Gil is a big Reinhardt player and his Orisa is pretty questionable. I don't know how that really goes for other teams. I know Overcharged has Luxie and Romy, who are both also Rhine players. I know in Horizon League, when there was the double shield meta, Luxie didn't perform that great. Granted, he was on trigonometric, but you know, this upcoming meta will be very interesting. I hope I don't have to play Brig, because I do not like Brig, and I will quit the game.
Good.
Good. Wow.
I'm just
Okay,
kidding.
that hurts my feelings.
Nah, you're great, man. Oh,
Okay.
God.
But
no
our next...
matter what happens with the Epi and Hangzhou game, I think that'll be the most interesting game to watch next week, because I think, in my opinion, whoever wins that game is pretty much stabilized themselves as the second best team in the league. So
Yeah.
I think that's definitely the game to watch next week.
Yeah. Okay, our next game is Overcharged against Kingdom Come. I put Overcharged winning 3-2. Apple put Kingdom Come winning 3-2. Sermi has Overcharged winning 3-1, and Tark has Overcharged winning 3-1. 87% of our analysts predict Overcharged is going to win, and 73% of the community. Personally, this will be a really close match. I just, with Overcharged underperforming recently, I feel like Kingdom Come could steal this away, but I just feel like Overcharge is still the better overall team, so they'll just manage to closely win this. It could go either way, though. I could honestly see Kingdom Come winning this 3-2, maybe even 3-1, but I just put 3-2 Overcharge, since I feel like that's what's most likely to happen.
I think if Kingdom Come solidifies their starting six and grinds out this week, they have a pretty good chance of beating OC, just because OC has, on paper, a stronger roster, but they don't have much teamwork with that roster, you know?
Yeah.
Like, usually in these bigger matches, you need more teamwork to win out, and OC just kind of goes off of just pure mechanical, just being better.
Actually, I forgot to mention something. In the OC game this past week, didn't they have Thumper on off tank?
They did.
Yes.
That honestly, I think if they had Zakatar, they probably would have won that game. I think that honestly, Zakatar is probably the best player on that team, and without him, they're, you know, kind of not that great. Well, actually, Sev is pretty good. It's close. Zakatar and Sevdonim are very, very, very good players. And obviously missing Zakatar actually hurt them a lot against
Was Zach
Hangzhou.
able to play last week, or?
I have no clue why he wasn't there, but obviously Thumper, a flex support player, being on off tank isn't the most ideal lineup situation for them. So maybe if they have Zakatar this week, they'll probably actually win this pretty handily.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I think with the additions that Kingdom Come have added, I went with the safe pick with Overcharged, because Kingdom Come with their new additions, I can't really be sure what's going to happen there. They could be better, they could be worse. So I'm going based on previous knowledge of Kingdom Come, saying that's why I think OC is going to win. But I could end up seeing Kingdom Come, if their new picks work out, I could see them upsetting and winning this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, this will be a fun game, I think.
Because in the leaderboards, they're tied right now. Besides map differential, they're tied with one point.
The map differential is way different, though. I think that the record does not show Overcharged skill, because the fact that they've lost but are still even on the map differential, they're 2 and 3.
Yeah,
but 11 and 11 map differential.
OC has had 4 map 5s this season. They had one at the beginning of the season against Vertigo. They had one against Platchat, and they had one this week against Hangzhou. The only map 5 they won was actually against Vertigo in week 1.
Yeah.
So no, maybe
both of KC's ones are map 5s too.
Yeah.
So they have the potential just to clutch out map 5. The game's probably going to go to map 5. They
Map
just
5 Warlord Kingdom Come. It's a nice ring to it. But our final game is Vertigo against Platchat. Platchat players, don't get angry. I'm pretty sure I got this one right this week. I have Platchat winning 3-0. Apple has Platchat winning 3-1. Surmi has them winning 3-0. And Tark has Platchat winning 3-0 as well. 100% of the analysts predict Platchat, 92% of the community, which is higher than the Tokyo Powerhouse game. So, fingers crossed we get it right. If I get it wrong, that's on you guys, not me. It's obviously a blowout. It'll be a blowout. Platchat's top 3. Vertigo's
Worse.
way at the bottom. In fact, I think they're a tier below Powerhouse now.
Yeah, I would agree.
So, it'll be a blowout, no lie.
I can see Platchat being argued for top 3 team. They're I think they're the 4th best team right now, but I could see them improving and trying to fight for that top 3 spot.
Who do you think is 3rd?
I think it's either Hangzhou or Epi. I think the winning and losing that game will determine who's 2nd and who's 3rd. And then Platchat is 4th right there, in my opinion.
If Hangzhou Bark gets blown out by Epi or vice versa, you don't think Platchat's going to be better than one of those teams?
Well, let's see. I thought Hangzhou beat Platchat, did they not?
That was a very...
Well, that was week 1, though.
That was
okay.
Week 1, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I think they could... assuming Epizeuxis wins, I could see Platchat and Hangzhou fighting for that 3rd spot.
Fair. I can see that.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see what happens. I think the playoffs this year are going to be very, very fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. This division overall has been very close. It's very entertaining.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah. Playoffs will be fun. I think. I think honestly, playoffs will be a surprising one. I don't think the top 4 teams will all make it to the 2nd week of games. Is that how they're doing it? 2 weeks? Or how many weeks would be playoffs? Since it's a 6-team
playoffs.
Yeah, it would be what 1 and 2 get buys. I'm assuming. So what, 3 weeks?
I think that's probably accurate.
Yeah. Okay. Well, either way,
I haven't seen the exact schedule yet. So.
Actually, if the 1st and 2nd seed get buys, that would mean if Hangzhou manages to win one of their games or somehow manages to stick to where they are in the standings right now, they could get a bye, and that would be very intriguing just for the I guess whoever would play them. I'm assuming it would be the how would those? They would be the 2 and or the 3
so
and the...
if it was based on current standings,
it would be the 3 and the 6 and the 2 and the 5.
Versus Kingdom Come and Platchat versus Overcharged.
Okay. Yeah. So either way, playoff bracket will be very intriguing if Hangzhou manages to hold on to that 2 seed. But I think that wraps it up just for this week. Apple, Surmi, Tark, anything to say before we end?
No. Good luck to all the teams this week. I think it'll be a fun week for sure. And yeah, good luck.
Yeah, what Tark said.
Yeah, what the boss said.
Apple, you've been very quiet. Do you have any shit talk? Anyone has any shit talk to say?
Oh, okay. So all of Platchat, they're all bad. Not a single one of them is good. Listen, Victor is now the worst Sombra in the league, and Dempsey is the best Sombra. Because if Dempsey can beat him on Zen, that means Dempsey is the best Sombra. Okay?
I detect no lies. No lies have been detected.
I just want to point out, I think Victor was probably one of the most value pickups in the draft because he was like almost dead last in the draft, I think.
Yeah, he was 12th round.
Very high value. That's all I gotta say.
The lost episode of Countdown covered that. The bye week episode.
Oh, yeah, I
man.
remember that.
Yeah,
It was
Sermi
lost
was
episode.
there.
Yeah.
I just thought you didn't record something.
It'll be lost media. We'll have a whole YouTube video covering it.
Oh,
Hopefully.
sick.
Yeah, but yeah. Tark, Apple, Sermi, thank you once again. And that'll
Thank you.
do it for this week.
Hello everybody, welcome back to this week 7 countdown of the Expert Division. My name is Pooter Scooter. I am joined here with Eok.
Hello.
Dashi.
Hey.
And Solus.
Hi.
Alright, let's recap the first game, which is a Newt Newt versus Easy Clap. The player of the match was Eraser, and the honorable mention was Turn. Solus, can you just go through like how you guys prepared for the game and how it actually went with the game?
Okay, so basically, we had a lot of new players in the past few weeks. Me, Caesar, and Iceman. We wanted to scrim with Iceman a lot on like control maps and those types of maps. And the most practiced map was Lijiang. We ran that every time. We didn't expect him to pull out Ilios. We didn't practice it once, so we were like improvising on the spot. But then, to be fair, I think it went really well against like Newts, because they have like clients who's a really good D.Va player, and then I feel like YOLO was like almost as good as him, or even better than him in the match. And it was me and Caesar's first game. We were obviously really nervous, but we tried playing. Yeah, that's about it. We didn't really prepare for most of those maps.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the scoreline is kind of expected, but I saw in the maps that you guys did put up a pretty good fight for some of the maps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Alright, I think that's it with that game. Let's move on to the next game, which is San Francisco Glock versus Z9. This was a really, really close one. I saw the last 2 maps of it live, and this one just hurt, honestly. Okay, so
you think it hurt for you?
So the player of the match
playing,
was...
and I was...
Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
All good. So the player of the match was Jazza. The honorable mentions were Glacial and Joshua. Alright, Dashi, now you could go say your spiel.
Wait, why wasn't the honorable mention pets? Because, like... Okay, so we, you know, we got a couple of scrims in with Ultra, and we really wanted this game to, I think Glock wanted it rescheduled as well anyway. So, but this was really good because we got to play Ultra, and Ultra's like really good. This is the first like official match we got to play with Ultra in. And so we really wanted to build around that. I don't think we got to practice the whole Briggs End thing a lot in scrims, because a lot of us were still unsure about whether that was actually going to be a good meta to run at this level, or if it was just what Contenders was running. But honestly, it was just, in the first half, it was all Ultra and Keith. Keith especially. Keith is like, I don't know if you've like heard anything about what like comms in Z9, but Keith is just so freaking loud. He is so loud. He takes absolute charge whenever he's like absolutely cracked on Zen.
Yeah.
And so he was outperforming Pascal for a bit.
Yeah.
And I think just what happened was that comp, the whole double shield or Arista comps they run, what I noticed was it was all around enabling this duo of Jazza on McCree and Pascal on Baptiste. And they just played really, like Pascal and Jazza just played perfectly together, and they were able to really play around each other, and it was something we couldn't really handle because it was too much damage output and we couldn't adapt to it fast enough, I don't think.
I mean, yeah, they're pretty good players, so it makes sense.
Yeah. You want to continue speaking?
And just one more thing, I think because I'm not sure I've seen much. I've not seen much Baptiste play because there's not a lot of Baptiste players in League Zero, I don't think. There's probably there are a lot of people who can play Baptiste, but there's no one who really has a Baptiste except for Pascal. And the fact that he was able to play that. And have his team play around him. I think, and Jazza as well was just like just turned up. It was just ridiculous. But yeah.
All right. I also want to add to a few things. So I've known Keith for a while. I've been IRL friends with him since like a while, like way back, and he is fucking goated. He was on
yeah.
He was Baz's partner with the Weird Squad for a bit, before we got Angel. He then went on a team called 86 IQ, which I also managed. They got, I think, top 32 with the double elimination OD. And after just like playing with him, just duoing and stuff, he makes such a big difference in everything. And I just want to make that apparent because I'm not gonna lie, he is a very big difference maker with Z9 just overall.
Especially if he manages comms or takes over comms in a good way, anyways.
Yeah, and the thing is, he wasn't even really the. I think that's one of our problems we're still trying to figure out is who's the main shot caller, because we've seen MK usually. I think it's MK who usually does the ult tracking, and then the main shot calling would either be Azali or Ultra on main take now. But then it just kind of falls apart in the middle of. Well, not really falls apart, but everyone's just calling their own thing. And I think having Keith there to like scream, even though he is like screaming at the top of his lungs, but it works because it puts a voice above the others and gives us some focus in mid-fights. And so he's really good at that, and that's something I think we still really need and is going to really help us in these coming matches.
Yeah. Also, just Z9 is definitely the biggest team on the rise. They're bringing in so many new players, like Vexy, Keith, Ultra. Well, not new, but like new, like starting now. And they went to 3-2 against one of the best teams in League Zero, which is Glock. And it was just so painful to see the reverse sweep just happen from your eyes. And I could see how destructive it was. Not destructive, like how
disheartening.
Yeah, disheartening to the whole team. Dashie, I just want to ask, how's your team like recouped against that loss and are just scrimming hard, or are they still like not over that loss and keep thinking about it?
One of the things I think we are really good at is there was a lot to take away from this match, and we didn't let it get to it. I wasn't even playing it. I was tilted for a bit. But you know, I think one of the things that we are pretty good at is not letting losses get to us, because we're a team on the rise, and that really helps us. And also, we're one of the teams that's most active with scrims, because Marquis is really, he's always asking, we want to scrim tonight, when's the best time for us to scrim? He's always looking for scrims. We're always, and I haven't been able to go to a lot of them recently, but I know they have been scrimming. We have been scrimming a lot. We still are scrimming. And you know, there was a lot to just take away from the match. I think we have to not get too cocky with ourselves. The tilt factor came in a lot in those last couple of matches there. But I think we did end up, overall, I think we did end up feeling good afterwards, and we will be able to bounce back pretty well.
Yeah, I 100% think that Z9 is definitely a team to watch. And this game against Easy Clap will definitely show which, how Z9 has grown or how Easy Clap has grown. Alright.
Easy Clap growing.
Easy Clap is growing.
Bro.
I couldn't keep a straight face.
Yo,
I have trust in Easy Clap. I have trust in Easy Clap.
yes, Rectophobia and Infected are very sexy.
Trust the dictators.
Dude.
Dude, honestly, Infected's underrated.
No, Infected was crazy in our game. He was actually crazy.
Oh, I agree.
He actually carried most of the fights.
Yeah, kid's 13, right?
Yeah, 13 and a half, you would say.
I remember that in the VC.
He's God.
He is actually probably one of the best main tank players I've ever played with.
Yeah, he's yeah.
Yeah. Alright, moving on to the last game that happened this weekend, and this one hurts. Chengdu Chad's 3-0 Love Muffin. The player of the match was Plasma, and the honorable mentions were Calbo and Bun. So, I'll speak first, Diak, and then you can just...
Okay.
Play more. Yeah, okay. So, overall, the game was kind of eh. We only had... This isn't really an excuse, but we only had, like, one scrim that week. And Target doesn't have a working mic.
Oh.
And so that ain't good. And we didn't really know what to play, to be honest. We tried to play like ball comps and like ball diva and stuff like that, and it just didn't work. And it was just us just beating our heads against the wall, just with the wrong comp, wrong this, wrong that. Yeah. Eok, you can continue.
Yeah, it definitely felt like an off week for our squad, at least because only having one scrim very much hurts. Tensions inside the teams are usual for any kind of expert team. And honestly, we just didn't really show up in the match. Even if we only had one scrim, that doesn't really give a full excuse. We didn't even put up like an expert level kind of attack or defense at all at any point. So it's more about just rebounding for us, and I think we managed to start doing that at least.
Yeah. There's nothing really much more to say about this. It was kind of a roll, even though a few maps were close. It was just...
No.
Yeah,
we got rolled.
No, Gibraltar was. What do you mean?
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
I think if I could say something, I think it's just a hard because with Zira and Bun were both playing in this one, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, and you guys have a very interesting roster where Target acquired obviously very good Widow, but he has a very from what I've seen from what we've scrimmed, he seems to have a very limited hero pool. He can play other stuff, but he's very Widow heavy, and even so, even if you do have him in a case where you guys are just playing, where you guys are forced to just play a comp where you play the heroes you're best at, they still have Bun on the other team, and Bun is just cracked out of his mind.
Yeah, he's up there.
100%. Alright, let's move on to the predictions. So, just to preface this, I reached out to many people for this countdown, and at least 10 of them said that they couldn't do it. So I had to get nobody from the Newt and Chengdu game. So, we all voted for the Chengdu Newt game, and 2 of us voted for Newt, the other 2 voted for Chengdu winning. So I think that Chengdu is going to win, just based on the fact that the reason why they had those 2 losses was because they forfeited, and because of a very scuffed roster. Those are the only 2 reasons why they lost. And they won against Newt before. Even though they didn't have Klein, it was still... They still won. I don't know. If Nunu has Klein, I do think that's possible. I think it's possible for both sides. It's either going to be very close or just a roll. Do you have anything else to say about that?
I have a Newt as winning 3-2. I just have a little bit more faith in their roster, and I don't know. When every time we've played against Chengdu, it's always like, yeah, we got rolled last week, but our other time playing them was not as convincing because of some technical difficulties. But I don't know. I feel like with Client being there from the start, presumably, I edged it out to Newt.
Yeah, I'm also not trying to downgrade this because Newt is a very good team. They definitely have a lot of like team synergy. They have a lot of team just like morale. I've talked to them. I usually talk to them, and they're like very like. It seems like they want to play on the team together. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, they have fun together.
Yeah.
Kind of like Easy Clap, right? Solus.
What?
I think I put Newt 3. I guess I have a little bit of bias since we beat Chengdu. I think it really could, because I have Newt winning 3-1. It might end up. I might want to change that to a 3-2. I still think Newt are going to win just because I think it's going to come down to how much the Bunzera duo, how much they get to
100%.
play, and how much they can carry. I do think, though, overall, Newt has a more well-rounded team and better synergy. So I think I'm more favored for Newt to take this, just based on how they. Now I think Chengdu has more carry potential, but I think Newt's more well-rounded, and I think that's going to help them to edge out unless Zira and Bun have a contender's performance.
Yes. All right. Let's move on to the next game, which is San Francisco Glock versus Love Muffin. Everybody thinks that Glock is going to win. All right. I'm not gonna lie. Last week was not very convincing for the Love Muffin side. We definitely underperformed heavily. But we have been thinking of more comps. We've been actually scrimming. We've been building. Yeah, shut up. We've been building up more team synergy. And just overall, we're just getting more comfortable feel with each other and with the meta.
Yeah. Look, if you guys can, I do think because I don't know that I didn't mean to sound condescending there. That sounded really
Whatever, Pooter, whatever.
That sounded really condescending. And but I'm actually about to compliment. I think if you guys can, if you do scrim a lot more and you get the synergy up, because coming off the Z9 game, I mean we forced them onto a different comp, and we don't know how. I honestly don't know how practiced Glock was on that comp, but if you can get the meta down pretty well and get maybe some other comps down pretty well and build a little synergy, this could be a much closer game. I still am inclined to believe that that Glock is gonna win just because of how Jazza and Pascal were ate our asses last time.
Yes.
But it's up in the air. It's up in the air. If you guys can get something going this week, then you do have it.
I might change my prediction.
You're gonna change your prediction?
You're gonna give us a map, maybe? A pity map?
A map?
Yeah.
A pity map? Let's go.
I don't
much
wanna...
appreciated.
Okay, I have 2 points here. One, you guys picked up Deadlock, right? Last week?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we did a trial for him in TXCXX. So we did the 1v1 arenas. He was actually rolling us. So I think he's a good player. But I haven't seen his tank play, but then I heard he's a 4.3k tank player.
Yeah.
And I think he actually has the potential to move the whole team and then lead your team into a win against maybe against Newts. I'm 100% sure he can beat Easy Clap with Deadlock. He can probably beat us with anything. And also Newt, I don't want to sound really weird, but rude, but they have a really big ego, They love egoing on people, so they might start memeing on you like they did to us.
Yeah.
And then you might be able to get a map off if they're hard memeing on you, and if you're actually really trying. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a hot take per se, but SFG might just want to be let's just clean up against these guys and might just try the whole time.
Yeah.
Even if they go up 2-0 or whatever happens,
Oh wait, it's San Francisco, not Newt. Oh wait.
Oh.
Oh wait.
Wait.
Oh shit. Oh wait, shit. Oh.
Uh-oh.
GG's.
We'll edit it for you. We'll
edit it. Yeah. Okay.
Edit. Oh yes, I can definitely edit. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay. Going back to my point, I'm gonna change it a little bit here. Instead of 3-0, I'll probably put 3-1. Just because.
Yay!
Love Muffin. I have faith in Pooter. I love
Let's
Pooter.
go. Love you too. No homo.
Yeah, he's part of my polyamorous relationship with Bun. And then I need him to win. But
worry.
I need him to win. He's also a good player, good Ryan player.
Ryan.
Gods of Orisa though.
Gods of Moving on to the next game. Z9 versus Easy Clap. We basically all think that Z9 is gonna win. I'm actually gonna give Easy Clap one map.
Only one?
Yeah. I mean.
Yes, only one.
I mean, I trust. Okay, Solus, I trust you. I trust Recto. I trust everyone to at least get a map, at the very least. I honestly rate Infected highly. I rate Yola pretty highly. It's just that I don't know how you guys just don't put it together, if you know what I'm saying.
We have no synergy whatsoever.
That is true. I can see that. But I just feel like your raw mechanical skill can at least get you a map. Let's say on like, it's not 2CP. Like control. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We're all really good individually, but like, we all have good ideas. So in scrims, we're like, okay, let's do this, but then we're like dog shit. We're so bad at listening to each other. Because on Gibraltar, on defense, we were about to win. We were like, okay, guys, I think we should run Moira Lucia, but we were all talking on top of each other that we started running Brig Zen. And so like, we're like, okay, what should we do? So we had to think on the spot. And I think we did good, but then we lost our Brig, and then we kept on dying one by one, and we just lost the map there. Yeah, no synergy.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm
Yeah, you go.
Sorry.
Yeah, you go.
One of the things I'm really actually excited for, because if we get to play Ultra again, and you guys play, I really the Ultra Infected matchup. I'm actually really excited for that.
I agree.
Because I like to think Ultra is he's a really, I mean, he's Trials main tank, but Trials main tank, and Infected is just super underrated. He's breakout star, I think. So I think it'd be really interesting to see that matchup.
I think it's definitely the most interesting one of the whole. If you look at each role, that is definitely the most interesting one to look at, considering the SR, the players, and the storylines of each roster.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm not sure if there's anything much more to say.
Z9 wins 3-0.
No, easy clap wins.
Alright, so let's let's do the closing statements. Eok, do you have anything to say?
No, actually, I don't.
Do you want to like plug your socials?
I don't have any socials.
Oh yeah, you do.
Just watch me shit on Nova next map or next round, okay?
Dashi, do you have any closing statements?
Well, you said plug socials, so follow me on Twitter, AwesomeRaider3. I was at 300. I went down to it happened to a lot of people though. I went down to like 290 again, and I'm back in 290. I need 300 again. Please get me to 300 again so I can feel good about myself.
Alright, Solus.
Yeah, wins easy.
Yeah. Solus, do you have any closing statements?
Follow me on Twitter. Sorry, I'm Solus. I have a lot of anime girls on my likes.
Wait, hold on. I gotta see this. Give me a second.
Oh, bye, Pooter.
What? I'm looking at your Twitter.
Oh, my likes?
Yeah. Pooter, what are you doing?
Ah, you do. Alright.
Saving for research, I see.
Bro,
yo, I can give you some plugs. You know?
Yeah, can you?
Yeah, I'll DM it to you later. Also, Easy Clap's gonna win 3-2. It's gonna go 2-0, 2-1, 2-2. Cause we're gonna roll on Busan. We're like build diff. We're actually built diff there.
Built diff. Yeah.
I'm ready to see it.
Yeah, I'm ready to see it. Alright, I guess it's my time. Follow me on Twitter, PooterScooter1. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Pooter, I love you. Miku better than you know though.
Pooter, I don't love you and I'm your off-tank duo.
Shut the fuck up. Alright, I'm gonna end the recording now. See you guys next week.